And welcome everybody to episode number 274 of the OMG Hour. We are recording this live on November 16th, 2017. And I, of course, am your host, Sean Evans, otherwise known as Zion Tane.
And I'm Jeff.
Oh, hello, Jeff.
Good evening, everybody. Hello. Hello,
Hello,
Internet.
Jeff. Hi, Jeff.
I always forget that we actually live stream now
Jeff.
because you guys started that. But
Yeah.
be quiet. Nobody wants to hear from you anyway.
People like hearing from me.
They do? Are you sure?
Sometimes.
Are you sure?
Yes, because I'm Tycko, Mr. Second Place in the corner, as usual.
But how do you know?
My mother told me that people like me, okay?
Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Is it? What?
Well, everybody's mother is right. So if Tycho's mother said people like him, then she's right.
See?
Fair enough. I'm not going to argue with a mom. That would be counterproductive
There you go.
to absolutely everything in the world. So
That is right. Gentlemen, how's your gaming week been?
Man, mine's been kind of quiet. I don't know. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
Let's jump right in.
I'm going to start with the thing we don't have video for and just get that out of the way.
Of course
Perfect.
Because that's the way I like to roll. And the audio listeners are like, what? I'm assuming this was provided by the publisher. I actually have no idea. Rabbids, Mario plus Rabbids. I don't remember what it's called.
Yes, Mario plus
Mario
Rabbids
plus.
Kingdom Battle.
Kingdom Battle on the Nintendo Switch. So I was playing that this week. Oliver was playing it this week. And wow, that's a really good game. That's
yes, it is
probably
very good.
one of the best Mario games I've played in a long time, and it wasn't even made by Nintendo. Yeah,
Right?
what a great little game. And, you know, playing that game, you know, it's cartoony. It's sort of like, I'm not a super huge Mario fan by any stretch of the imagination, nor am I a fan of Rabbids. Actually, it's the first Rabbids game I think I've ever played. But I love that type of game. It is, you know, harkens back to Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, which was my first sort of experience like that on a handheld, and I love playing tactics games on a handheld. Absolutely.
Is you really you think it's more like that than XCOM?
I would call XCOM a tactics game.
Oh, okay. See, I don't see Mario and XCOM as the same style game as like a Final Fantasy Tactics.
Well, I mean, the core combat mechanics, I would say, were very similar. It's still about positioning, and you know, maybe it's definitely closer to XCOM, which is kind of where I was going before you cut me off. But what I would really love to see actually is the XCOM games on the Nintendo Switch.
Oh man, yeah, that would be really good.
That is, like, for me, the best platform, because I don't like to sit at my PC and play tactics games, and I realize that tactics games are very big on PC. But being able to play a tactics game, like, all those turn-based games they're the perfect thing to play, I think, on a handheld platform. But, you know, Mario plus Rabbids, it's a fantastic game, and it is much deeper than I expected it to be, and it's a lot of fun, you know?
Yeah.
I've only played it for a couple hours, so I'm not super far in yet, but definitely a game that I am going to be playing a lot more of in the future. Yeah. I think that's like my favorite game I've played so far on the Switch. So
what I enjoy about it is once you finish the story in each world, the world you can still go back to it because then there's challenges, right? You can go back and finish all the challenges and find all the extra stuff that's in there. So it doesn't just, okay, you're done World 1 and World 1's done. No, there's actually still a lot of stuff to do in World 1 once you finish the story there.
Yeah, they did a really good job layering on a lot of stuff to give the game good length.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, no, really fantastic game. Now, for my second game, you may notice, video watchers and anybody that's watching the live stream, that I am dressed in my very best. My video is terrible today because I need more lights, but in my very best plaid. That is because the day is finally upon us, gentlemen. I have been asking for this for I don't even know how long.
Like, that'll be like a year now.
Maybe even longer. Provided to us by the publisher, I have finally had an opportunity to play the real deal, Farming Simulator 2017. And actually, I lucked out because the the video that we're seeing right now is actually from sort of the walkthrough when you start the campaign. It's after the tutorial, but before you really start to get into it. So we're going to get actually to see a lot of different types of farming for all the people watching the live stream.
Thank goodness.
Right, and what you're going to notice is that it is a lot of driving tractors or farm equipment around. So if you've been listening to the show over the last couple of weeks, it is incredibly similar to American Farming Dream or whatever the heck that last game was. But it is improved in a lot of ways. The UI is better, the graphics are better, the frame rate is a lot better.
Well, this is things have been around for years, Farming Simulator.
Exactly.
You know, they've got a lot of experience here.
Yeah, and it really shows that like this is sort of like the premier farming game. I mean, I've only played 2 now, which is 2 more than most people are going to play. But I was really impressed. Like, the depth of this game is much more apparent from the outset than the last game. So you can, when you start, you get to create a character. You can choose between a male or a female. You can pick the color of your plaid, which I thought was a nice touch. And then it's basically the same thing. So there's plots of lands that you can buy. You can buy your seeds, you can plant them, you have to plant them, you have to water them, you have to prepare the ground, like the whole deal. So it is a lot of dragging things around. You have tractors, you can attach different attachments. I don't know if this was in American Farming Dream or whatever, but there's also like, if you've got something that's really heavy on the back of your tractor and you've got a really small tractor, you can also get weights to like counterbalance all this different farming equipment and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it really gets deep. There's, I don't even know, there's got to be like at least 30 different like tractors, and then there's different combine harvesters and like tons of stuff you can buy. You can automate things at any time. So like if you're doing a field and you're like what's happening right now is like on the screen is that I'm driving this tractor collecting the grains that a harvester, which is being driven by an AI, which I hired, which is just one button press. So if you start a job and you're like, okay, great, I actually don't want to drive this whole field, I'm going to press circle, I'm going to hire a guy, he's going to do the whole thing, and then I'm just going to go and start something else on another field. So the automation was a lot simpler, I think, than the other game, too.
Okay, you just ran that stop sign.
Yes, well, it's called Farming Simulator, not Driving Simulator.
Well, you ran a stop sign. You're no concern for the safety of the other drivers.
Oh, wait, no you wait. No, you wait, Tycko. You just wait.
I actually, there was a point in this game very early where I hired an AI guy to drive my combine harvester, and then I hopped out of the truck, and then I was watching it for a little while, just drive back and forth, like super boring, right? But I'm like super interested in like watching this happen. And then I walked in the path of it because I wanted to see if it was going to harvest me. But then I actually got kind of scared, and I'm like, wait, I'm recording a video for the show right now. I don't probably want to know what happens, so I still don't know what happens. If I don't know if I can get harvested or if it's going to stop. The cars do stop. Like if you get in the way of a car, it'll just stop. But I'm very curious to see what's going to happen. It's probably just going to stop, and it's going to be super lame.
Well, it depends if you paid the guy up front or not.
Right. Yeah, it actually just... it's not like you pay... From what I understand, I shouldn't say this with fact. It's a very complex game. I haven't understood all the systems. Oh, this is on the video where I get stuck for a little while.
You're not a very good tractor driver, Jeff.
Definitely not. Oh, geez, I just forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I don't remember now. Anyway, Farming Simulator, I would say, of the 2 that I have now reviewed, this one is definitely better. It is, it reminds me a little bit of Kingdoms for Kieflings, where you've sort of got all this stuff going on and you can automate some things. The money. So when you hire somebody, I think what happens with the money is that it just starts counting down your profits faster. Because you're always losing money until you go sell something, and then you get a bunch more money.
Okay.
So when you're hiring all these people, you're losing money constantly while they're doing the job. So
it just sounds like my everyday life, except for the part where it refreshes.
Well, that's it, right? It's like a simulator, like any other simulator. So if you're playing SimCity and you're planning a city, and you've got cops and police, and you have to pay all these people, Oh yeah, trains. There's trains in this game that I discovered. You can switch to any of your own vehicles, just tapping left and right on the D-pad. So you don't even spend the time because the farms are big. So anyway, I've talked enough. Nobody really cares. I'm very excited. I finally got to review this. I did really enjoy the game. I will probably play more. Oh, and it has multiplayer, which I haven't even tried yet. So I'm going to try that sometime soon.
Multiplayer? Wow.
Yes.
It's a farm with your friend.
Split screen, I think, too. So
farming with friends.
Ooh. Yeah, and that was pretty much it for me this week.
Awesome. Tycko, how about yourself?
Well, I played a lot more Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's fun.
I'm like, I think over 40 hours in now, and I realized the last time I saved the game, or when you load the game, it tells you how long you've been playing, and I think the last time I looked, it was like 37 hours.
I haven't looked at that, but I probably should.
Yeah, it's on the load, like when you actually go to load that particular save, or when you click continue, it tells you how long you've been playing. So at about 37 to 40 hours that I've been playing, I noticed that my map is still only like half exposed.
Well, I spent some time just running around, just trying to and like I've spent like a ridiculous amount of time just like, okay, I'm just going to go here just to unfog this part of the map.
Oh, really? No,
and I've done that, and I've still not gotten everything done, even with actively trying to do it. And I'm still like, man, there's still that's just too far. I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, it's huge, right? It takes something like 3 hours to walk across the entire map or to run across the map. It's a 3-hour journey. Yeah, and but when you're trying to get into these other lands that you haven't unfogged yet, those are like higher level than you, are they not?
Oh yeah, you get killed pretty quickly. You can still go into the lands. Yes. Like, and I've done that. It's like, oh, I'm going to go into well, why is that guy red? Like, I'm going to steer clear of him. Yeah, and then like, you just try to like hop on your horse and get away. Like, even a snake will take you out pretty quickly.
Oh, I had a couple snakes take me out the other day, but I didn't realize there was like 3 snakes all at one position. They all attacked me at the same time, and I just dropped. I'm like, what? You know what's great for snakes?
So much fun.
I entered a room with snakes.
Yeah.
And I noticed there was an oil barrel. So I shot the oil barrel, and then I turned on my torch and threw the torch into the room, and the whole room... How do you throw
the torch?
Same way you do a bow and arrow.
Okay.
Yeah, you literally just aim and throw the torch, and the whole room just lit up, and all the snakes went... It was pretty epic, actually.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great
way of getting rid of the snakes.
Yeah, really enjoying like just unlocking stuff. I think I'm close to the end of the story.
You think so?
Like I think I'm at the. Listen, I think I'm on the last mission.
If you haven't opened up the entire map, you are nowhere near finished the story.
Almost the entire map I've cleared.
Because you went and did it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm on the thing that says the final mission.
You're
like it's called the final whatever.
Maybe for what he's trying to accomplish, because you have to remember, Bayek has a personal mission.
Yeah.
Right. So this might be his final mission because it's his personal vendetta. But I don't know where it goes after that.
Well, I might be at the end. I might not. I don't know. We'll know probably by next week.
Okay. All right.
So, I did pick up a couple of other games. I didn't actually buy these games, though. I pressed buttons.
Well, that's good, because that's what you do.
Yeah. So, I have EA access, and as such, I tried out a couple of the new EA titles that came out. So, Star Wars Battlefront II.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly what it is.
Came out this week. It came out on Friday. It was available last week for EA access people. This game has been under a lot of scrutiny,
yes,
to say the least. So I'm only really interested in the campaign. So EA Access gives you 10 hours. I think I'll get through the whole campaign in the 10 hours. So I'm not going to have to spend a dime on this game.
So is there no limit to playing the campaign? Is it not just a couple of hours?
I'm like 4 or 5 missions in, and it hasn't given me any indication that they're going to say, oh, you have to pay for the game to complete this.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's actually pretty epic.
So, game looks beautiful. It's fun to have a story mode attached to it now. So you're playing as the Empire, immediately following the
destruction of the Death Star.
The destruction of the Death Star, which is really cool because you're playing as Imperial force down on the ground, and you're like, oh well, let's get back up there, and then all of a sudden you see it blow up in the sky, and it is kind of interesting to see that. There's no Ewoks though. I was expecting to be able to shoot at some Ewoks, but no.
Oh, are you serious? They're on Endor and there's no Ewoks?
I didn't see any. That's
sad.
But really pretty game. It's fun so far. I haven't gone on and done any of the multiplayer stuff yet. Not super interested. I've heard people are very...
You don't want to grind out 40 hours for loot boxes?
Yeah, so people are quite upset. EA responded to that and lowered the cost of the heroes, apparently, by 75%.
Hey, we'll get there. We'll get there. Whoa.
Hey, this ain't the news.
Stuff? Oh, yeah, there is stuff in our notes about that. I should probably have read those.
You should probably read the notes, yeah.
You know what? In any case...
Stop lollygagging.
It's a very pretty game.
It's a pretty game. Play it on EA Access. If you have
Don't have that, but
get EA Access and play it on EA Access because that's about what I would say. It's going to be free in the vault for EA Access probably in 6 months anyway. So
a year.
EA stuff I don't pay for anymore because I
give
just
it a year. Yeah, give it a year. It'll be in the vault.
So since I can't talk about any of the other stuff until later, then I also played.
You could talk about the game. Not the news.
I did. I've talked about the extent of what I've done so far. I've played a few missions. You get ground missions, you get space station missions, and some flying stuff that I'm terrible
I noticed in your video that some of the characters, the rebel characters you're shooting, actually look like Princess Leia. Did you notice any of those?
I didn't, but I was just firing at them very quickly.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, they all look like her Endor costume.
Yeah. You know, and they've got some of them actually had the hair buns. It's like, okay, you just shot Princess Leia. That's not canon.
Maybe it's a royal decoy.
Oh, that's canon.
That is canon. They do that a lot. Yes, so maybe they just canon. They got a whole bunch of people. It's like, all right, strap these cinnamon buns on the side of your head and hop out there.
That's right.
And that's now what they're doing. It's like a whole battalion of people with Cinnabon on the side of their head.
Well, because that's what they do in Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. So, I also played some Need for Speed Payback, also through EA Access.
I was very interested in this game, and it's not getting good reviews at all. I actually read one review that said it's the worst Need for Speed ever.
Wow.
Yeah, ever is literally what it said.
Wow. I mean, they're all the worst ever, but...
Oh, shut up. I don't need your stats.
I haven't played a ton of them to be able to say it's one of the... It's not great. Like, nothing about this is making me go, man, I really want to play more of this.
Who made it?
Ghost Games.
Oh, aren't they a good developer?
I'm pretty sure it's Ghost. They created the last one.
It's it feels very generic. There's a whole little storyline involved and everything like that, but it doesn't feel the storyline for Most Wanted seemed better than this.
So I have to ask: is it you don't really like it because you can't drive, or
I'm terrible at I'm also terrible at driving, but there's not a lot of indicators of what you're supposed to be doing. I mean, you've got this big giant flashing say drive this way, and then a low hanging rock or something like that, and you run into it and it's like smashing into a solid brick wall.
I noticed that.
I am also not a great driver. I will fully admit that I am terrible at most driving games.
The few crashes you've had in this video so far, there's no way any car would actually survive what you've done to it.
No. Like some things break away like they're made of paper mache, and then you hit like a one lamppost or fire hydrant or something like that is like the most secure thing on the planet, and you just stop dead. You don't your car doesn't break or anything. You just stop dead.
So how is the driving and how is the car the races and the game in general? Like as a racing game, how does it control? Is it okay? Regardless of the story,
loose. Like slight movements are overcorrect massively.
Oh.
In order to move, you move it slightly and nothing happens, and you move it a little bit more, and your guy yanks the wheel all the way left.
Oh, there's a dead zone in the controls.
Yeah, it doesn't. There's not that sweet spot. I've played some fantastic driving games that seem to do it right, where it has the proper response to the control, and this one does not feel like I fully admit I'm terrible at driving games. Somebody else would probably be way better at this, but I'm weaving all over the road here because I'm trying to make tiny adjustments to get around another vehicle or something like that. And, you know, like it's either smashing into the wall all the way to the left or not moving at all and smashing directly into the car that I was trying to steer around.
Okay.
So, I don't know. It's not one, like, I was based off of the original trailer we saw, I was hoping for something like in Need for Speed meets Burnout. And the burnout aspect of it is not there at all.
The trailers we saw at E3 made it look like it was going to be Fast and Furious.
Yeah. Yeah, like a nice... And it doesn't feel that way at all.
Okay. So, wait for it to be free in the Vault too, is what you're saying?
I would wait, again, 10 hours of free gameplay on EA Access.
Well, that's true.
You'll get a good sense...
Or just go play a real racing game.
Or play a real racing game. I mean, if you've got EA Access, try it out. It's not going to kill you to try it. It'll be free eventually. I'm going to say probably sooner rather than later on this one.
Or if there's other Need for Speed games in the Vault, play those instead.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think Rivals is in there.
None of the Need for Speed games in the Vault are worth playing. Need for Speed for this generation has been garbage.
Yeah, I think Underground and Rivals are both in there, and they also are both not good.
No, the original Underground I liked.
The original Underground was great. It was Most Wanted that they remade, because Most Wanted was great too, and then they remade it and it was terrible. But there hasn't been a good Need for Speed for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Just play Forza. Or if you like this type of game, go play Forza Horizon.
Yes.
Or grab a backwards compatible copy of Burnout Paradise.
Yeah. But Forza Horizon, for sure. That is a good driving game. Absolutely. Well, so I also played, as we just talked, I played lots of Assassin's Creed, having a lot of fun. And I'm also kind of juggling my time between that and Horizon Zero Dawn, playing through the new Frozen Wilds expansion, which is great to get back into that.
So pretty, eh? Such a pretty game.
Unbelievable. That game is... I mean, it's just... every time I play it, I just stop and look around everywhere I go. And I'm like, okay, I think I need to take another picture. Right?
I was watching this video where on Reddit, actually, where a guy was walking through the snow, and it showed that they were rendering the grass underneath the snow.
What?
So as you move through the snow, and it's pushing the snow around, like what actually happens in snow, as we all know, living in Canada. And if in some places, like they'll actually, like grass will pop up underneath and stuff, like long grass and stuff. Such an unbelievable.
I have not noticed that. I'm going to look for that now.
Look for it, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. But this week, one of my favorite games from 2011 was released after being, I don't want to say remastered because it wasn't
Sean,
really.
Can you say it like this?
Okay, remastered in quotes, air quotes, because. Okay, I'm talking about L.A. Noire. L.A. Noire came out on PS4, on Nintendo Switch. Apparently it's really good on Nintendo Switch, runs really well. I'm playing it on PS4. I got a copy from Rockstar to review. And I am really unimpressed with what they've done with this game. I almost feel like they've downgraded the game visually. Okay? So you can go to YouTube and check it out, and you can actually see a comparison between the PS3 version and the PS4 version. Okay, you're not going to notice it on the video you're watching on our channel right now, but the graphics, the visuals actually look like there's this haze over the whole game. Like, when you take a photo, you probably know what I'm talking about. You know how if you increase the brightness too much, it almost puts like this white haze over everything and everything gets washed out? Yeah. Right? That's almost like what they've done. It's like they've washed out all the graphics because they're less bright than they were originally. The blue sky in the original game is now a dull gray on PS4.
Really?
Everything is completely washed out. Like they've tried to increase the brightness too much.
Or decrease the saturation.
Or decrease the saturation, yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, it looks worse than the original. You know, now they've added some, they've changed something. So no longer, like, they have, before it was truth, lie, or accuse, I think, but I believe
doubt.
or doubt, right? Truth, lie, or doubt. They've changed that now to good cop, bad cop, or accuse. And that more mimics the way your character reacts to the question or to the suspect, right? Because before, I remember the original, you could say lie or truth, and his reaction would be, why are you reacting that way to something you think is true? Right? Yeah. So now it's more good cop, bad cop, and that's based on his reaction. I'm not quite sure if it makes a lot of sense yet. I haven't played many of the actual scenes where you have to interrogate someone. I've only played it a little bit. I'll know a little bit more next week as I get further into it. But I was really disappointed. I remember originally in 2011, I remember driving around this game, like I do in Horizon or in Assassin's Creed. You just walk around, you just lollygag as you're playing through the game and enjoy the scenery, right? That's what this game was like for me when I was playing it originally. Because in 2011, keep in mind, it's a 6.5-year-old game. This thing came out in May of 2011. And it was a great game for its day. The facial animations were unbelievable. The fact that you could see emotion in the faces, right? And their lips were perfectly in sync with what they were saying. Almost as if they took actual film footage and kind of put it in the game on the characters' faces. That's how incredible it is. And it's still like that, although 6 years later, looking at that technology now is almost off-putting because it doesn't really fit anymore in today's animation style. I'm not sure how to explain it, but as I'm watching the facial animations now, it's a little off-putting, more so than it was 6 years ago. And I think because 6 years ago it was an incredible technology feat. Right? Now we kind of expect actual animations to show those things because we've seen it. Right? And now it feels like it doesn't fit anymore. But I haven't noticed things that are like what I would call a remaster. It's still the same game, don't get me wrong. If you enjoyed the game, you'll enjoy playing it again. It is the same game. Right? They've done some volumetric lighting. They've done like reflections on the cars. I noticed that right away. Like, I noticed at the front of a car, there's actually reflections of the world around you, which weren't in there in the original. So they've added technological things to the game. But in my opinion, the game doesn't feel like what I would expect a remaster to look like and feel like.
Sure. Sure. So they didn't take it as far as like Bethesda did with Skyrim?
With Skyrim. See, Skyrim, again, what they do, they added lighting, right? Lighting effects.
Yeah, they added lighting, environmental effects. Some of the textures.
Yeah.
They didn't change a lot of the models, which is really what hurt that. But it's still a big improvement over the old game, on console anyway.
Yeah, and I don't notice as much of that kind of improvement in LA Noire.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe it would look better on actual 4K because now the difference is they've scaled it to 4K. They've upscaled it. They've got it ready for HDR 4K. They've changed up some of the mechanics. They've added the lighting effects and the reflections. But at the same time, like I mentioned, graphically and visually, it looks darker or more like there's a haze over it all. The colors are nowhere near as bright as they were before. And I don't know why they do that, because in my opinion, it makes it look worse. Look it up on YouTube. Just do LA Noire PS3, PS4 comparison, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There's a big difference between the colors between the two games. Gameplay-wise, I'll get back to you next week as I play more. But my initial reactions are, I honestly don't know what they've done with the game. I don't feel like this is an improvement. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Sean has spoken.
I have spoken.
He is not pleased.
This was one of my better. Other than Skyrim in 2011, these two games, Skyrim and LA Noire, were favorite games of the year.
Yeah.
I played LA Noire straight through. I couldn't stop playing the game when it came out.
You know, I never played it. Never.
Oh, it's definitely worth playing. Absolutely worth playing.
I played most
Maybe I'll get it for Switch.
That's, you know what, I would love to play it on Switch, because what they've added to the Switch are touchscreen controls. You know, so some of the investigations, some of the puzzles you can actually use the touchscreen for. So they've added
Would be cool.
like more stuff to it, new stuff to it that wasn't there to begin with. I think that would actually work really well on the Switch. So, but I reviewed the PS4 version. Anyway, that is pretty much it for the games we've played. So we're going to move on to the stuff we like to talk about, which Tycko has already ruined. So
Sorry. I'll just sit in the corner for the rest of the show.
all right, gentlemen.
Yes.
Gentlemen.
What are we talking about?
Gentlemen, the Game Awards are coming up soon. Voting,
Yay, shickhead.
voting is now open.
Yeah.
There is a Schick game again. There is a best game presented by Schick.
It better be shickhead. You better be there.
So thegameawards.com/awards, you can go and you can vote. I've already put in my vote. Believe me, I voted for Horizon Zero Dawn as many times as I could. It's nominated for so many different awards. Best game, best, I think, visuals or something. There's best actress. So Ashley Burke, who plays who is the voice of Aloy, she's up for an award.
She did such an amazing job. I had no idea it was her until I found out that it was her. Like, she did such a great job hiding her.
Did you know that she was also Tiny Tina in Borderlands?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where I know her from that. And Hey Ash, What You Playing, which is her YouTube
Her
show
YouTube channel.
The brother, yeah.
But yeah, she's Aloy, so she's up for an award for her role as Aloy. A lot of good games actually in the list this year, so I'm kind of anxious to see what wins. Of course, I did vote for Horizon for best game. Now, Jeff, did you want to announce what we're trending here? What we should announce it right here and now, and everyone should vote.
So, you know, I started this about a year ago after watching the Game Awards last year, and they have this one category. Which I think may be...
You need finger quotes when you say these things.
Yeah, category.
They have this one category, which I think may be the quote-unquote, air quotes, greatest category of all time, but actually the stupidest thing I've ever heard of category, called Trending Gamer.
Right.
Which seems like really stupid lip service. I hated the idea back then. I hate the idea today. But a year ago, I tweeted something where I said that I wanted to nominate Tycko over here for Trending Gamer 2017, and now the time is now. So I'm starting a Twitter campaign. I started it on his birthday, but then I forgot about it. So thank you for reminding me, because I'm going to keep going on this with more Tycko facts. So I've started out with one fact. Well, first of all, I started the campaign, so it's official now. I'm going to try and get Tycko nominated. I mean, Tycko. It's a long shot, but I think we can do it. And I'm spreading these facts. I'm spreading facts.
Again, facts.
Facts. So the fact this week was, did you know that Mr. Second Place pushes more buttons in a single week than all other gamers combined?
It's true.
That's this week's.
That is a true fact.
That is a true fact. Yeah, so, and I'll have another fact next week. I was hoping actually to have like way more facts, but I don't tweet a lot, so, but I'll have definitely more facts because I got a lot more.
Excellent. Yeah. Captain Mike M, who is actually watching us live right now, he says, sorry, Tycko, but Dr. Disrespect is the only choice. I don't know who Dr. Disrespect is.
No idea.
I think by not knowing that's very disrespectful, Sean.
But I guarantee that he doesn't push as much buttons as Tycko does.
He doesn't. No, I bet he doesn't.
There's no way. So, Tycko for Trending Gamer. There's hashtags. Go look me up on Twitter, Twitter/Cynics, SINNIX. And you can watch the joyousness unfold. Also, speaking of which, my tweet last week, when I said hi, you remember that?
Yes.
I got like 2 likes and a bunch of replies and stuff like that. So thank you.
That's it. That's all you need to do.
Thank you, Internet. Thank you, Internet. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, Tycko provided us with this kind of a cool article this week. This is popular gaming consoles adjusted for today's prices. I kind of like these kind of things. This is at the Chive, and they go back to like 1972 with the Magnafox Odyssey, and based on increase or inflation. So originally in 1972, it was $99.99, $100 in 1972.
What? That's ridiculous.
Well, if you adjust that for inflation, that's the equivalent of $594.53. A $600 console. Yeah. Right now, I'm kind of understanding
what we expect.
Yeah, now I'm kind of understanding why my parents never bought me things like an Atari, like the Atari 2600, one of the most popular ones, released in 1977 for $200. Well, if you inflate that to today's prices, $843.
Come on, Atari.
What? What would happen if a console came out at $850 today?
I don't know. Ask Sony. That's probably going to be their next one.
Yeah.
The PlayStation 3 came out at $650, I think, wasn't it, Tycko?
$659.
$650, yeah.
And then you had to buy an HDMI cable too.
Right.
Wait, these prices are in U.S. dollars, right?
These are U.S. dollars.
So this is like $1 million Canadian.
This awesome. Like $1,000 for the Atari. Like what?
Let's look for some of the ones people actually played here. What do we got?
Okay, so if I go down, I had a ColecoVision. My dad actually bought us a ColecoVision, and now I kind of look at why, because it's actually one of the cheaper ones at the time, released in '82. For $175 in '82, equivalent to $460 today.
That's still not bad. That's a pretty nice thing for your dad to have gone out and get you.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, so he bought us a ColecoVision.
I had a Sega Master System. I did not have an NES. I was a Sega guy. That was $200 in 1985. And now, in today's prices, $470 about.
Yeah. Well, the original Nintendo, 83, was $200, equivalent to $500 now.
Yeah.
So
which is about on par of what these things are being released at now.
It is, yes. Sega Genesis. I had a Genesis, but I bought it used. 1988, it came out at $190, equivalent to $400 now, which is still pretty reasonable for today's prices. And it goes on. I mean, the article, the link is in our show notes. It goes on to a lot of them. The 3DO, I remember, oh my gosh. Okay, we have to talk about this, because I remember my best friend at the time buying a 3DO, and I couldn't believe he did it, because in 1993, it was $700.
Yeah, right? Ooh. That was a crazy... I remember us talking about it in 93, going about like, oh my gosh, that console was similar to, like, just, it was an insane amount of money back then.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of $1,210 now.
US. So
$1,200 for a freaking game console. And my friend bought it. And then it quickly died. I mean, how long was 3DO on the market?
About an hour. It's $1,500, $1,500 Canadian.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
For a game console.
I want to jump down to Dreamcast, 1998. Came out at $200, which is the equivalent of $300 now. So that was actually a cheap console for its time.
It was a cheap console, actually. I remember buying it because I'm like, oh, you know what? That's not so bad. I was working part-time at Future Shop at the time. So
yeah, I bought it. I think I bought it. Me and my best friend at the time in '98, we bought it day one. We went to Future Shop at lunch and bought it.
Yeah.
I remember it being...
Great console.
I think, wasn't it $200 in Canada as well?
Yeah,
I don't remember it being that much more.
Our dollar may not have sucked that bad back then.
That's true. Yeah, our dollar wasn't that terrible. I remember my wife buying me a GameCube for Christmas one year. It was $200 in 2001, which is less than $300 now, $280. So, and there's the PlayStation 3. Came out at $500 US in 2006, which wasn't it $699 in Canada, Tycko?
No, it was $659. I remember it being a very weird number. They didn't quite want to hit that $699 price point, but you did have to buy
the HDMI cable.
HDMI cable separately.
Yeah. Well, equivalent now is $621, so still way more than it was worth. So that it's a great,
cool beans.
It's a cool article. I love seeing stuff like this, looking back to how much were they back then and how much, you know, I think about, you know, my parents in the 70s and thinking, why didn't they buy me an Atari? And well, now I understand, because back then $200 was, you know, worth $800 today. So it was, that was not a cheap thing to buy.
No.
I would not buy something that was $800 for my kids.
Exactly.
I will point out, Sean, if you're looking at this, I love the picture. The only picture they could find of the Wii for this.
Right? Yeah, everybody go check out the link in the show notes and look at the picture they used for the Wii. It is the most ridiculous thing.
Like everything else has a proper, you know, product shot and everything like that.
Yes.
Except for the Wii. So take the time to check that article and check out what they've got for the picture of the Wii.
All right, Tycko.
Yes.
I want you to go back in time about...
Done. Already did it.
15 minutes.
Yeah, already done.
And continue your talk about Star Wars Battlefront. What were you going to tell us?
Well, yeah, I don't remember now.
Okay, so, EA apparently has the most downrated comment on Reddit in history.
As a guy that reads a lot of Reddit, I can tell you that Reddit has essentially turned into the Battlefront 2 bashing center of the universe. It's like every other top story on all is talking about Battlefield or making Battlefield memes or just anything. Battlefront, sorry. Yeah,
Battlefront 2.
It's really not good.
It all came down to the unlockable characters like Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and apparently in playing multiplayer, it would take you the equivalent of 40 hours of gameplay to unlock one character.
Yes.
One character. Or now, just spend some real cash of yours, and you can unlock them right away. So they, a lot of people complained, and EA came back and said they wanted people to have a sense of accomplishment by unlocking these characters, and it blew up. People just going nuts over the comment that EA made about this. And since the very next day, it was announced that they've decided to change it, and it's now only costs 25% of its original credits to unlock these characters.
Interesting thing. They also, though, reduced the amount of credits you can earn in a match by the same amount.
Oh, come on.
So they reduced the price of the heroes by 75%, but the amount of rewards you now gain is 75% less than you would normally gain for a match.
Well, doesn't that still equate to 40 hours of play then?
Yes, it does.
Come on.
Yeah, no, EA does not quite get it.
I don't remember reading that. Oh my gosh. Are you
I
serious?
read that a couple of threads about that.
I don't understand something. So you want to unlock heroes.
Yes.
But in the previous Battlefront, heroes were pickups. Like you would pick them up, and then you would become the hero for the map. Is that not the way it works anymore?
I think that there's unlockable heroes that you can earn the heroes and unlock them. So which ones might be available to you to play in the matches? Okay. There's also heroes versus villain matches. So it's just heroes and villains.
Right.
And I've seen a couple of people have posted their screenshots that they've tried to get into a match, and all of the heroes that they have currently unlocked and villains are already being used and can't be duplicated. So they then can't get into a match.
Oh, wow.
There's no character for them to select.
Man, this game is just going to go down in flames.
Again,
it'll still probably sell really well because it's Star Wars and there's lots of people that don't listen to podcasts or read Reddit and all that kind of stuff, and they're going to market the heck out of this thing. And
yeah, it's true. Every parent buying something for Christmas is going to be, it's Star Wars. Jimmy likes Star Wars. Buy that game.
Mm-hmm.
JJ Mahoney, watching us right now, chimed in. He said, I pre-ordered twice and canceled twice because of this.
Yeah, I was gonna buy this game, but now I'm gonna hold off.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Yeah, me too.
I'm still bitter about the last Battlefront that I paid full price for, and it dropped to less than half of what I paid for it within 30 days. So
yes, yeah, you've been burned by EA because of that, haven't you?
Yeah, no, I don't buy EA titles anymore. I just wait for the Vault. They can have $30 a year from me. That's what they get.
It's $35 a year for Vault games. It's not a hard choice right there.
Yeah,
Especially even if you get, like you said, you could play the Battlefront campaign probably during the trial.
Yeah, in full.
Yeah. All right, gents. What's next?
I don't know.
We want to move on to Bungie news.
Oh, good.
So Bungie has shared some more details about Mercury. And
can I be honest? I have no idea what you're about to say. I have not been reading any gaming news all week.
I am ashamed of you.
I know, right?
You're a resident guardian, you're a resident guardian.
I know, but I get called out on Twitter when I say things wrong now, and so I'm not even going to say anything. I have no idea what you're about to say.
Okay.
I do know one thing. I know that we're getting like raid variants called Lairs.
Yes.
But that's it.
Okay, so they're raising the power cap from 300. To 330 from 300.
Okay.
With gear mods, you can get to 335.
Okay.
The experience cap is going to raise to 25 instead of 20, so we can level up again. And like you said, the layers. So they're expanding the raid. Oh, first of all, and I'm really upset about this. I'm really upset.
What?
I have yet to finish the raid. I have been in the raid 3 times.
Okay.
I've never finished a raid yet. Okay.
Because you suck or what? I'm teasing. Just keep going. Keep going.
They're now going to raise the requirement for the current raid from 270 to 300.
Well, I'll never get there.
Yeah,
which means
but you're gonna blow right past 300.
How? The raid is how I do that. How?
Yeah, but because they're gonna, when you go to Mercury, they're gonna have like blue drops, just like in Destiny 1. I'm sorry, this is a really big assumption. Don't call me out on Twitter people. Because
I'm gonna tweet now.
Every time they did that in the previous game, you would start getting blue and green and drops that were higher than the old light level. So like I'm at 299, I've been working really hard at it, and then the expansion is going to drop, the enemy levels are going to go up, therefore the gear level that they're going to drop, they're going to move that soft cap up to maybe 220 or 320 or something like that.
Okay.
So then you'll just get past it, no problem.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then great.
Yeah, I would imagine that's what they're going to do. They're not going to keep it super hard like it is now.
Yeah. Of course, we know that Mercury is going to be the new playable area for the story. Yeah. And the story takes place a few months after the end of the original story. So we're going to be able to go to the decaying world of Mercury, which has been taken over by Vex. Why did the Vex take over everything? Everything's Vex.
That's their thing.
They are trying to take over the universe. That is their big goal.
Can I be honest that I'm actually disappointed that there's no real new enemies in Destiny 2?
There will be new Vex.
I don't care about new Vex. Like,
how is there not a new species?
Like a new species. That I kind of was hoping for a new species at least with Destiny 2, and it's just there's new types of Vex and there's new types of Cabal and etc. But it's all still the Cabal, the Vex, the Fallen.
First expansion. Game's only been out a couple months. You have time. We didn't get any new enemies in Destiny 1 for like, oh gosh, I don't even know how long. Which was it? Till the Taken King, right? Which was expansion number 3.
Right, but then the Taken themselves really were
just shadow versions.
Versions of all the rest.
Yeah, this is true.
Right.
Yeah,
it was
gonna palette swap everything.
That's put a new skin. And, hey, it's a new enemy.
That's what they did for the Rise of Iron guys, basically.
Yeah, put new skins on them.
Yeah.
I want new enemies.
I'm excited to play this, though. I really like the story of Osiris. I think he's got a really interesting backstory. And I'm curious to learn more about the lore. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I do know there's some sort of weapon wall. We're going to the lighthouse, or the lighthouse plays some sort of component. I don't know. It's good. It comes out, in just under a month, right?
December 5th. Yeah, less 3 weeks. I want to say 3 weeks. So you taking time off for that too, Chef?
No. Well, that's right before Christmas, right?
Yeah,
so,
I know.
I've got to book my holidays. I got to spend time with the kids. I'm still not even sure what I'm doing. So.
I have like one vacation day left, and I'm taking it on December 15th, which is Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, that's coming too.
Yeah, I've already got my tickets. I'm seeing it opening night at 7 p.m. on the Thursday night, which is the first showing. And then I'm seeing it at 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. or something the next morning.
You're crazy.
Which is my personal tradition.
I know.
That's my tradition.
I know. You do this every year?
Every
Star
Wars. Every Star Wars. So
every Star Wars, every year.
Yeah. Well, it is every year now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It wasn't back in 99 when I started it. I hear a child there, Tycko. Are we going to be interrupted?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for her to like drop kick the door.
All right. What do we got going on?
Let's talk about VR. So the future of VR. HTC Vive has announced the HTC Vive Focus, which is a VR headset with world-scale tracking. It is a standalone headset that does not need to be hooked up to a computer to play games. So it will have its own processor inside the unit.
Sure. I can totally see that being absolutely 100% technically possible. However, the graphics processing of this device, I imagine, is not super amazing.
Well, apparently it is going to pack a Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 with instant on support, and now we're told that it also features a high-resolution AMOLED screen plus a rotational head strap that's similar to the Vive's deluxe audio strap.
Huh. Interesting that they would use the term high resolution.
Yes, exactly.
We haven't used the term high resolution since HD.
Okay. I don't know what the resolution is, but it also has they're calling it a 6 degrees of freedom controller headset. 6 degrees of freedom. So what does that equate to?
X,
Y,
Z.
Yeah.
And then that of your head, and then your body position.
B.
Oh. ABC.
Yeah.
So okay, like your
so it's got full head.
Yeah.
Right. But then isn't that also you can walk around a little bit?
Yeah. Well, that would be because it's real world.
Or no, maybe it's not. Maybe 6 degrees would be.
Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly 6
degrees. Each direction counts as one.
Twitter's
so
going to start yelling at me again.
But I gotta wonder about if you're not attached to anything physically, how do you not bump into things using this thing?
Oh, that'll happen for sure.
Is it gonna tell you if you're approaching a wall?
No, isn't 6 degrees? I'm gonna Google that right now because I think 6 degrees is just basic head tracking.
Well, isn't the
sounds more impressive when you say 6 degrees.
Isn't the PlayStation controller called 6-axis? Right, up, down, left, right, and then Z in and out. That's six axes, but not 6 degrees of freedom. So I'm not quite sure exactly what that means. While you're looking that up, Jeff, you can rant about this next thing, because I know you spent money on this. Disney has shut down Marvel Heroes.
Ugh!
We talked about this game just a couple of months ago because it came to PS4 and Xbox.
It just came to consoles, and I spent like $50-$60 on it. I still like playing it from time to time. Yeah. And now it's shutting down. When is it shutting down? I don't even know.
December 31st.
Oh, what? I'm so annoyed.
Yeah. Shutting it down, and people have spent a lot more money.
I like that game. It's a solid Diablo-style game, like open-world Diablo game with multiplayer. It's a great game. It's not perfect, and it's definitely had some ups and downs over the last couple of years, because it's an older game now, right? It's been around 5 years at least. Man, I'm so disappointed in that, because, I spent money on that game, and I'm sure that people that have been playing for a long time have spent a lot of money on it.
Exactly. I would be really, really upset, like you, Jeff, if I had spent money on this game. Because how long has it been on console now? Like 6 months?
Not even. I think it was like August or something like that.
Yeah.
No, it was before that.
down to Xbox. It came to PlayStation first, and then it came to Xbox a lot later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely this year.
Yeah.
That's really disappointing.
So,
really
so they've I can't remember the developer's name.
Gazillion.
Gazillion.
Oh yeah, Gazillion. So Marvel has said that they're ending their relationship with Gazillion. Just ending the relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe the game wasn't making that much money. You know, sometimes it's better to just cut your losses, and I totally get that. And MMOs are expensive to maintain because you have to continuously develop new content and all that kind of stuff. And maybe it just wasn't worth it anymore. But I mean, I don't know. That's just I get it. Games have to shut down. It's happened to a lot of games over the years. Many games that I've really enjoyed playing. But I thought that a Disney Marvel backed game would stand the test of time, right?
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure exactly why it's happening, but yeah, it's happening.
It's always a business thing.
Yeah. I mean, they obviously. I mean, I'm hoping that they still do something with a Marvel licensed video game. Like, I would love to see another Ultimate Alliance or something like that come out if they're not going to do something like this.
That'll come out with Half-Life 3.
I know it's never going to happen. I'm just saying I would like it to happen. The X-Men Legend games, Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, I really enjoy those. I would love for them to pop another one of those out.
You could play those again.
Yeah. I can, and I have, but I want a new one. Give me a new one. Stop being so difficult, Sean.
Maybe they'll give you a remastered version.
They have.
Oh. Okay.
Did you not know that? Are you not aware? Do you not pay attention?
Of Ultimate Alliance, yes, but what about X-Men Legends?
Oh, well, maybe they could do that. I would play that again.
I know you would. You play anything again, because it's buttons.
That's true.
Okay, I have one last thing I want to talk about, and
okay.
This isn't really news. This is more, I just want to rant, if I can, for a moment. I would like to know why... Okay, first of all, there's this article that's out right now. It says, Assassin's Creed producer is creating a new action game franchise. Oh, cool. Assassin's Creed, new producer creating a new game. Great. I'm reading through it, and I get down to this part in the game that says... details are currently scarce, but the game is expected to arrive in fiscal year 2021. And I stop, I'm like, what? Why are you telling me about a game that isn't going to come out for another 4 years?
Yeah,
why?
It's very early to be discussing something that nobody's going to have any information on.
Does anyone remember a little game called No Man's Sky? Like, come on, people. Why? Seriously, why are we talking about this? Why is this news?
Hey, wait. A lot of new interesting gameplay, and I don't think that everyone's seen before. Details are currently scarce, but the game is expected to arrive in quote-unquote fiscal year 2021. Reports GameIndustry.biz. And if I click on that link, I've got money that says this is from... Oh, except they don't actually link to the article. Anyway, I bet you that was some investor call. And GameIndustry.biz was reporting on an investor call where this was the CFO, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the chief financial officer has to let the stakeholders and the shareholders know what's going on and how their library is going and stuff like that.
That's fine. But
it's gamers... an investor call, so GameIndustry.biz picked it up. So really, it's just Engadget jumping the gun a little bit. Like, oh, this is news.
I agree.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed's in the title. Grab it.
Listen, I get it that the investors want to know what's coming, what's on the horizon, and all of a sudden Engadget comes out and says, oh, Jade Raymond, producer of Assassin's Creed, making this game. Oh, but it's not out till 2021. It's like, then don't even tell me about it.
Yeah.
Like,
somebody's got to fill their quota for the day. It's not like there's anything else interesting going on in the world, like, I don't know, Battlefront II scandals.
Right? Seriously, though, it has been a lot lately. I've noticed that even places like Polygon, all these gaming sites that we've relied on for years. We have, Jeff, you and I use Feedly. Right? Do you still use Feedly?
No, not as much anymore.
Okay,
no.
so I use Feedly, and that's where I have all these places in that I like to check, and it gives me the articles as they come out. I've noticed that a lot of articles, it's like less games now and more like just technology in general. There's a lot of phone stuff. There's TV and movie stuff. A lot of television and movie stuffs now. You know, gaming has become a very small part of what all of these, what used to be just gaming sites. They're now no longer reporting just games. They're all television, movies, technology, phones, that sort of thing, right? I've noticed, and we've said this before, that many weeks we come on and say the news was really scarce, you know, because, and it really is, and I found that a lot of these gaming sites are not just gaming anymore. They've had to expand in order to have something to say, you know?
Yeah, no, it's true.
I mean, what do you...
We have a problem. We do this once a week, and there's weeks where we're like, all right, we're going to have to tell a lot of dumb jokes because we don't have a lot of content to fill.
That's what Tycko's here for.
Yeah, but that's all I'm here for.
Could you believe if you had to have like 20 new posts a day?
Every day.
So yeah, you're going to be digging into an investor call. Oh, that's a little tiny nugget of news. I'm going to drop that into the thing. I'm going to report on that, even though nobody cares.
Yeah, exactly. I actually stopped reading it at that fiscal year 2021. I stopped reading. I'm like, then I don't even want to know.
Oh, he stretches even further into the obscure near the end of the article. He starts talking about how it's also, intriguingly, 2020 is also when Microsoft's console-free streaming services due. Like, what? Details are scarce, but we're pretty sure this is going to be a console-free streaming service in 2020. Probably an exclusive because EA, Microsoft, you know, it's going to have llamas in it because llamas are good too.
And it's going to have gameplay that no one else has ever seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know, talk to me in 2019. You know, then you can maybe show me, you know, if you don't even have a trailer, if you don't have gameplay, if you have nothing to show me, I don't even want to know it exists. Like,
and if they're saying 2021, it's actually 2025
or at least 22.
Yeah. No. This is EA, right? Isn't this EA?
Oh, that's true.
They'll release it in 2021, even if it's only half done.
And then they'll just patch it every month.
And then
if you're lucky, or they'll
bits
do
and pieces as paid DLC.
It'll be
Mass Effect Andromeda thing, where they'll patch it for a little while and say, "Nah, you know what? We give up."
or all of the rest of the game, you'll have to get through loot boxes.
Yeah.
Ah, man. I wonder. You know what? This is... EA likes to make a lot of money, and they like to push boundaries with this kind of stuff when they can get away with it. And can they get away with it on Star Wars? If they're going to get away with it anywhere, it's going to be on Star Wars. I'm curious to see what happens next in their next few games, their next couple of big games.
What do they have next? What's coming up for them?
Anthem.
Yeah, but we don't have a release date for that, do we?
No, I don't think so.
No,
maybe,
2021.
2021. All right. Well, that is pretty much it for episode number 274. Tycko, who are you?
I am Mr. Second Place, and you can follow me at Mr. Second Place and nominate me at wherever Jeff is going to tell you in a minute.
Tycko for Trending Gamer 2017.
Yes.
Tycko for Trending Gamer 2017. I don't even know, actually. Just retweet my tweets. That's all
it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that a lot of retweets will get you the win, but I actually don't know how it works. And you should follow me on Twitter for all those great Tycko fun facts, which are 100% true all of the time. And my Twitter is... quote unquote. My Twitter is twitter.com/Sinix, SINNIX. And of course, the show on Twitter is at the OMG Hour, and whoever mans that Twitter account is actually really good at Twitter, so you should definitely follow that one because a lot of things happen, but we don't know who does it.
So yeah, follow Jeff, and he'll give you the not fake news.
Right.
So I am, of course, Ziantane. That is XIANTAYNE. Give us a like, subscribe to our channel, give us a comment. We'd appreciate that. Our show notes, of course, all the links of everything we talked about can be found at omgnexus.com, and on Twitter we are at OMGNexus. Keep in mind, the show is the OMG Hour. So if you are talking about the show, use that Twitter handle, not OMGNexus. But whatevs. Whatevs. That is it, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll be back again next week.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
This has been an OMGNexus.com production.